Extra, extra, read all about it as we will be spoiling all contents from this week's episode in this podcast recap. View at your own discretion.
You've been warned.
Welcome back to the house, my friends. Welcome back to the House 1055 podcast. We are back to discuss the latest two episodes of Daredevil Born Again. Here in the late hours of the night. We just got done
Boring.
watching, interesting, we'll get into it. We just got done watching episode 4 of Daredevil. Apologies for missing last week's, but we are going to recap that one briefly too. Yeah, let's get right into it. I'm your podcast host, Marano, back with my co-host, Mr. Leroy Bradford, trying to avoid some jail time.
Yeah, he didn't do it. The system's against him.
Oh, man, we will get into his character very briefly, but let's go back to episode 3 real fast. Let's review that. It was a courtroom drama type episode, which you could definitely see the bleed through, I think, of there definitely seems like a delineation from the first 2 episodes of what feels like more of the show that never got messed with, I guess, when they did like reshoots and stuff like that. But we get the whole courtroom drama. I really liked it. I liked the legal aspect of the episode. It was very Law and Order-esque, not as detailed of a law, procedure as that is, but we got like the law stuff back, which I missed because I just got done rewatching the show, and I realized, like, watching through it, how little we actually do get Matt like in a courtroom. We get a good amount of it. We get some scenes in season 1, and we get like one scene in season 2 with Punisher, but he's actually not even really in the Punisher trial, which is something I kind of forgot about until I watched it again. And season 3 is just basically not a lawyer. So this is like the first time we really get to see Matt in a courtroom again, which I thought was cool. I liked the whole procedure. I felt the tense like nature of the confidential informant coming in, getting ousted by the police, and him kind of switching sides, which was a total Law and Order thing. If you've seen any Law and Order episode, that didn't surprise me at all because it was just that's what always happens. They seem like they got the case in hand, and then bang, something dumb like that happens. But we don't have to spend too much time on this episode, but what did you think about it? I know, I liked it.
No, I enjoyed it. I think what's crazy, probably one of my favorite parts of the episode is like, I've been in my fair share of altercations. I've been in my fair share of physical altercations. I've won some, I've lost some. The ones I've lost, I don't think the next day I confronted the person who beat me up in the bathroom with no cameras, no witnesses, and just started talking crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
that cop was on something,
the
bro.
cojones, the balls
Yeah.
that cop had to confront Matt in the bathroom with no witnesses and no cameras.
Yeah.
And to talk crazy like that is mind-boggling.
Matt taunts him eloquently as well.
Oh, and
the entire time.
And he did episode 5 too.
Comes back.
Because he punked him.
Yeah, he did.
He punked him.
He punked him bad.
And the dude can't do anything
No,
about
he
it.
can't.
Dude bounced his head off the tile floor like a basketball.
Yeah, 100%.
And what- You can't go home. You can't go back to your family after someone does that to you.
Man.
A blind guy.
Yeah, not at all.
Come on,
Who's
bro.
gonna believe you, bro? Who's gonna believe you, bro?
I mean, come on. Not only were you trying to beat up and bully a disabled person,
Yeah.
but he turned around and bounced your head off the floor. It's just insane.
Yeah, that was wild. I love how Matt taunts him.
Yeah,
and we got more of it this recent episode. We'll get into that too. But yeah, I enjoyed I think the dialogue in the show is really good. I think the writing is actually really good so far too. We went a whole nother episode 3 without seeing Daredevil again.
Episode 4
and 4. We'll get into how we just didn't see him episode 4 either. So we're really building this up. other thing I really want to talk about in episode 3 that we can kind of move on to our thoughts in episode 4 since we're fresh off of it. White Tiger Man.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. This sucked.
I think the biggest thing that pissed me off about it was like the fact that he was just like plot fodder.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's rare and like not often that we get like Hispanic heroes.
Yeah.
And so like when we do get one, I typically get like really excited. And I knew he was gonna die. I didn't think he was gonna survive the season. Because if they wanted like a more impactful character, not more impactful, but if they wanted somebody who's going to stick around the whole season and do like a buddy thing, they would have used one of the defenders.
Yeah,
probably.
like a bigger character.
Like
for
Iron
sure.
Fist or something like that.
Yeah.
So I knew he was just going to be plot fodder. That being said, I did think we were going to get more time with him.
I did too.
And that he was going to die on the back half, if not the last like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And like that serve at, as a purpose. But I'm not mad that he died because it serves 2 purposes, right? It serves the purpose of kind of that fuel for Matt. Even in this episode, like Matt is like, man, how awesome is it when the system works?
Yeah.
It doesn't work all the time, but when it does, man, it feels right. And then
bang.
You know what I mean? So it's like that's gonna be like,
yeah.
And Matt like.
We see it start to boil over in this episode.
Matt is fighting demons. He's he's really trying hard to let Foggy live, his memory live in kind of like withholding himself.
Yeah.
But things are happening that it's like making him ball his fist, like the Arthur meme.
Yeah.
Just ball his fist. And he's like, and no matter what, like he can't help but hear the cries of the city.
Yeah.
And crime is going up. And he's just like, we're gonna see it eventually boil over to he's gonna start busting down on some kids.
I did think this was gonna be the tipping point, and then we just watched episode 4, and it turns out it wasn't quite the tipping point. It was definitely, it was more to the fuel.
Yeah, it definitely
to the
helps.
fire.
Definitely helps.
But yeah, like what you said is perfect. Like Matt is just, this whole show is about Matt. This whole season, at least, is like Matt battling his demons.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's just fighting.
And the second purpose it serves is that typically the white tiger that we like kind of know of, it's a female.
Yeah.
There have been, I guess, some different iterations.
There
it could
has,
be his sister. It could be
we
his
learned
daughter.
finally it's his niece.
So possibly, I mean,
at least in episode 4, it's what they clarified. So
that's what they insinuated. They didn't tell us.
It said directly in episode 4. Isn't that she said my uncle? She said my tío.
No, yeah, but not that she's white tiger.
Oh yeah.
It's insinuated that she may take the
I'm
mantle,
assuming if they ever do want to use this character in the future, like.
No, sure. I mean,
I kind of, to your point, like plot fodder. Like you kind of figured they were gonna have to get Hector out of the way in some way or another.
For sure. And I mean, this is gonna be touchy, but like, and I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying it's a coincidence that like they don't have to dance around like the actual actor passing away.
Yeah.
So like obviously it's like,
which sucks,
terrible, and like cancer sucks. And so that obviously the actor like passing away, which is awful. Like they already got like, we're getting rid of like his character, so he wasn't gonna have to perform as that character again. So I mean, that obviously they don't have to do the Black Panther thing and like try and figure out and scramble. Even if they want to use this character again, I'm sure they probably do at some point. Maybe in
it's a pretty small character, but we could.
No, but maybe in some form of the Defenders or something like that. Obviously, the iteration that we typically know is the female, and it's there have been a few different ones, whether it's someone related to Hector.
For sure.
The only thing I kind of wanted more from this episode, and it's because they killed him in this episode. I wish they did a little bit more exposition on the amulet. I just felt like we kind of
we didn't really get anything about
we
the
kind of
amulet.
just glazed over it, like this is his amulet, it gives him his power,
and
that's all.
The way they mentioned it so many times, the way they referenced it, the way the camera kind of lingered on it every time it was in the scene, it's almost like they are trying to say like, remember this amulet. Like that's kind of something Marvel would do.
So like when you see it again, but it's like I wish like we got some exposition. It did not need to be a lot. It could have been like literally a few lines in the courtroom. This is the origin, whatever. This is what abilities it gives him. I didn't need a lot, but just something. So it's like, okay, when in the future, if they're planning on using this character, okay, when I see that amulet, boom, I know this is what I'm getting. This is, this is the origin. I don't need that exposition later. You can just have somebody don it, and we
got it.
We can just cook.
We know.
So that's the only thing I kind of wish we got a little bit more exposition there. And again, if you had kept him alive for a few more episodes, I would have been fine because maybe down the line we would have gotten it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We would have gotten. I thought we were getting more time with him.
Yeah,
it was kind of weird. It was definitely very like, oh, he's just not in the show anymore.
But it's also like
backed in.
I
don't really care too much. I'm not watching the show for White Tiger.
Yeah, that's fair. No, it's not. It's not a show, but it's also like, and this is where like I just feel like the Instagram comments, like just those D1 haters. It's like, walking down an alley, like he didn't see that guy.
Yeah,
like it's like
you didn't the first watch through.
I didn't, but I'm also not White Tiger. So I just feel like if I'm putting on not a costume, if I'm putting on a suit and I'm planning to become being a vigilante and throwing myself in the face of danger, I'd be hyper aware and hyper alert. And if I'm walking down an alley, I would probably pick up if somebody's standing right there.
Which, by the way, he really is just walking around alleys.
Yeah, he's just walking around. He's not jumping off rooftops.
No,
he's not like the teenage.
Daredevil.
Yeah, right. I'm not saying he should have clocked him as a threat.
Yeah,
I'm saying he should have seen him.
Yeah.
And the moment he started moving a little weird towards him, like and then you piece him up.
Yeah.
Again,
he went down bad.
I'm just being a D1 hater.
He did.
I just hate that they just did Hispanic hero.
And then we see that guy is wearing a full-on Punisher vest.
Yes.
Which I don't think either one of us really assumed that was Punisher.
Nah, I thought that was.
No. Sure, it's one of the cops. So
yeah.
But it's interesting to see like they're full fleshed out, imitating him.
Yeah.
Like they're going full.
It's like a cult.
Yeah, they're not just doing it like as cops. They're doing it like in the night.
Which is weird because you would think, right, in all the stuff I've talked about, that I would be for this.
Yeah, the Church of Punisher.
The Church of the Punisher.
Yeah,
the Church of Punish. But like, I guess I haven't decided whether I'm for it or not.
Okay.
I guess that you just need to do it in a cool way. Like if you're just popping random
if
people
you
in the
murder
street,
people, but it's cool,
then it's like cool. But if you just like popping people and you're just like, I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't think it's a cop's place to be in the Church of Punish. I think this needs to be an exclusive club.
Okay.
And that me, Punisher, Mark Grayson, are currently in, and it's just like you can request to kind of be a part of what we're doing, but you can't just be just a random New York cop that's just like doing this stuff. I think that's kind of lame.
Yeah. And then we get to flesh out some more of that a little bit in episode 4.
Let's get to episode 4.
Let's get to episode 4 because we just watched it.
Yeah.
I definitely have some thoughts. I actually really enjoyed the episode.
Okay.
I feel like you were not enjoying it as much as I was.
Sure.
But I actually really enjoyed it.
Sure.
Reason being, I just think this show is really cooking with the writing and the dialogue. And like right now, that's doing it for me. Yeah. Even the camera work and stuff too. I even wrote down a point about the shot where he's like walking down the alley looking for the bullet, and it quickly flashes back and forth, but it's literally like the same spot.
Yeah.
Just those like little things. Obviously, like we still get all the really cool like stuff with Matt's powers. That's just it will always hit for me. But the composition of this show is just like, it's very different from the original series, but I really like it.
Yeah.
It's different from a lot of like MCU shows we've seen.
Yeah.
It's not, I haven't really seen this style done. And the B-roll footage of like New York too, like that still works. It's never distracting to me.
Yeah. I don't know if this bit's going to go through the whole season, but I don't mind it.
Yeah. I wonder if they have a purpose for it.
Maybe.
I mean, they're kind of building like the BB subplot.
It's more of like kind of like what we talked about. Yeah, for sure. Like she's having her own like thing. But
yeah, she's everyone's side quest.
As far as like the street interviews, like I talked about a few episodes ago, like I just think it's really just giving the people, giving them a voice in the WWE, right?
It's a good transition. Yeah,
Go ahead. You need to let me cook.
Yeah.
In the WWE, they always say like the audience is a character. The audience is actively not only impacting but also like making decisions and whatever. Like the universe, the WWE universe, people, fans are a character, and so like I just feel like these street interviews is doing that for the people of New York, the people. I guess New York. It's not just Hell's Kitchen.
No, it's old New York.
New
New
York.
York City.
And so like we're basically getting more dialogue of how the people are reacting to what's happening and how it's directly impacting them. And then you're seeing like the range of views and political views and thoughts, and vigilantes are good, vigilantes are bad, crime sucks. Like, and you're also getting exposition of like what's going on in the city and what the people are struggling with.
Yeah.
Crime rate is up. You know, they mentioned that a little bit.
Talk about the garbage a lot this episode.
You know, so it's like, but like that's just real to them, and you know, and so it played into the whole like leak of the stuff. So it's cool.
It plays into the whole mayoral aspect of like of Fisk's plot here, because it's like he wants to be mayor to obviously like kind of seize power, become a hero, maybe make some good changes, but this whole episode is just reminding you how actually like mundane and hated that job is.
That and how like Fisk is not built to do it.
No.
And it's like it's one of those things where it's like the idea is there, but you're not really cut out to do it. Like I understand his intention might be good. Oh, I'm trying to do this. This is for the people. I said I was going to do everything he's talking about as like in his mayor scenes is for the people. Yeah. His intention is to serve the people. He's very stubborn. Yeah. And he thinks this is the best thing. And when people are telling him, no, we should actually probably try and get crime rate down. Yeah. He's like, no, I don't think that's what they need. Yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting.
I really, to stick on Fisk's like mayoral plot a little bit right here. I did really like the whole scene with them on the docks was really good. Yeah. Just him learning like, no, this isn't a criminal empire. Like you can't just make things move at the snap of your fingers. Yeah. There's like, if you want to look like what you want to look like in this position, you got to go through all the hoops that you got to go through. Yeah. That means sitting and listening to awful versions of "We Built This City on Rock and Roll" in multiple languages.
Oh yeah, different ones.
Which that cracked me up.
That was funny.
I liked that a lot. And then the whole, his moment where she like is backtracking, like, no, you can't do that until we do this. No, you can't do that until we do this. And he waits. Is that the first step? Let's do it then. That got a chuckle out of me.
It was funny because he's like, is that the first step? Yeah. She's like, yes. And for a minute you're thinking he's like, that's a lot of hoops to jump through. I might not want to do this. And then immediately goes, okay, so let's start there.
That's good. It's just like refreshing because like you don't get that kind of, I don't want to say it was whimsical, but that lighter tone with Fisk is not really a thing in the show typically. And so that was really good. But also to kind of hang on another point you kind of said, and this is going to be a little bit out of chronological order, but all that kind of does serve to show, we talked about this on the phone last week when we watched episode 3 after we got done with the episode. All of these things are kind of serving to the point of like showing these two characters slowly slip back into their old lives when they're trying so hard to live up to this new standard that they've created for themselves. And we see that really heavy by the end of this episode. We'll get to that in a minute. But, that whole... that builds that up really well. The whole mundaneness of Fisk's mayoral life is like really showing how much he's just not built for it. And it allows you to get into the scenes later in the episode that show him slowly slipping potentially back into the more criminal aspects of who he is.
This show is built on the parallel of Matt and Fisk and the duality of them. And like this show's at its best is when they're moving. For visuals, you can see what I'm doing, but for audio listeners, I have my hands next to each other and they're moving in a parallel line. But when these two characters are moving side by side, it's always good when they cross, when they intersect, and they have interactions and altercations. But when this show, when they're just moving parallel, I think the show is at its best, and they do it really, really.
I think
well.
The writing in episode 4 was incredible.
Yeah, it was good.
I think it goes to that a lot, like. Just zoning in on these two characters, and we're going back and forth between both of them, kind of going through a similar plot journey.
For sure.
And, every scene they were in, I know this was a slower paced episode. Like, there wasn't really anything that happened. We didn't get Daredevil again. But, like, every scene I was locked in on, whether it was just because the dialogue was so good, because I felt tense about it, whether, just the writing, the chemistry of previous characters who I want to get into. Yeah. But, Yeah, I just like and it kept getting on. Like I wrote down the first time, I was like, dialogue is on point this episode. And that was like when he was talking to the flirty lawyer in the beginning.
Sophia, she wanted dick.
Yeah, she wanted absolutely.
Yeah.
She was fiending for it, bro.
For sure.
But even like the dialogue between him and Leroy in the prison, and just that all, and then like every scene, like I just like kept coming back to they're just writing really well. Like I believe all this stuff. I don't feel like they're trying too hard, which is kind of come across in previous Disney Plus shows, whether it be Star Wars or Marvel stuff. Is sometimes it just feels fake. It doesn't feel real. All this stuff felt really real. It felt like them and their characters as well, which I really appreciated.
But it's like every single scene you mentioned, and I'm sure you can name a few more. There's always one of two people in those scenes, Matt or Fisk.
And that's what's really good about this. And I want them to keep cooking with that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to get away from that, because the BB subplot is something, but it's not like in previous seasons where we've had the Karen subplot. We've had the Foggy subplot. Like, it's not like that. We've had even maybe characters around Fisk.
Yeah, when you kill them and they run away, then it's pretty easy.
Yeah,
not
pretty
to
easy not to get into their stuff. But like even with the therapist stuff, we get the therapist stuff, but it's always centered around who? Fisk. So it's like, that is it really is the bedrock of this show. And it works so incredibly well. We're probably going to say that every episode. And I know we've said that way too many times already. It's not really great analyzation, but like it's just true. And it really gives you the locked in, as a viewer.
Yeah.
I'm just always locked in on it because it's so enthralling. So, but that scene was really good.
Okay.
Therapy scene.
The therapy scene was really good.
I really enjoyed therapy scene. That was cooking.
Yeah, no, that was obviously and I think that scene was perfect to have in this episode based off how we ended the episode.
It was our weekly therapy session.
Yeah.
We've gotten it.
And so
time.
the dialogue between them was good. I think it's interesting. You can see the therapist. She's growing a little frustrated because she can tell they're like talking
around
code. Yeah, they're talking around because the root of their problem is stuff that happened, that would get them arrested. They ran a criminal empire.
Yeah.
And so the root of what their problem is, you can't really talk about it because you just get you in a bunch of things. So they're talking around it, and it's kind of frustrating the therapist. At the same time, they're talking around it, but they know what each other are saying.
Yeah, I caught on to that too.
So like they're like, they'll say something that's like, didn't answer the question directly, but like it answered the question to Fisk.
Yeah.
Like Fisk like understood what she said and what she's insinuating, and then he would do the same, and she's like picking up, and they don't. So like the therapist is helping.
Yeah.
But the therapist can't understand.
Yeah.
What they're,
because you're missing the whole point of it is that you have to be completely and 100% open,
which they
for it to
are,
work, but they
are to each other, but you can't understand it.
And also, I love the whole alibi nature of it too. They're like always each other's alibis, and they're always so in sync. Like every time she tries to dig in, there was like a moment they both turned and said the exact same thing at the exact same time.
Yeah,
and it's just like it shows that nature of like they can dance around it all day long because they know how to, and they're always going to.
She knows he has him.
Yeah.
Or has killed him. One of the two.
She picked up on the violent nature that he had, but man, she was spitting bars, bro. Like she was saying things where I was like, dang, like that's good therapy shit. Like and then they were spitting bars back to each other. Fisk had a couple great lines. Like that whole scene was just really good. It again, like you think these therapy scenes would get old, but honestly, like they're really good so far, and I want to see more of that plot like fleshed out and see how it kind of wraps back into the overall plot. So that one was like really excellent. And then we got, do you want to get to it now? Do you want to get to the Punisher thing now?
Yeah, let's get to it.
So, dude, we were wondering where he's coming in. Matt goes through this whole thing where he's got to go find the bullet that nobody could find. I know you had some issues with that. If you want to speak on that now.
Yeah, I just thought it was bullcrap. I'm pretty lenient with all the things he can do, and I get it. It's like he's not just blind, and he has heightened senses. It's like super power heightened senses. But when you know what? And I'm not even mad at how he found the bullet with the bottle and all that. I'm not even mad at that.
Yeah,
I'm mad at when he reached his hand in there. He reached his hand into like, I don't know what you want to call it. It wasn't the sewers, but it's a little pocket where garbage falls. Where the bottle fell, he reaches, and the first thing he grabs is the bullet. He didn't like put his hand down and like feel around and feel the bottle and then found the bullet. Like he put his hand in there, immediately grabbed the bullet, walked away. That's where I'm like, I needed a little like, he's blind at the end of the day. Like he cannot see.
So when he reaches into the fridge, do you think he has to like search for what he's looking for every time he reaches into the fridge?
No, because he put the stuff in the fridge.
What if his
If
girlfriend
I close my eyes and I walk in my fridge, I know where my milk is. I put it in the same spot every single time.
Okay, that's fair. But
And I also, even if not, like we have never seen. I don't think we've seen him open his fridge and get in there. But I'm sure he's probably like if
we've seen him open the fridge and get beer.
If he didn't, yeah, but the beer's in the same spot every time you put the beer there. If there's a scenario where his girlfriend, I guess we can call her now, put stuff in the fridge, I'm sure he has to lettuce.
I don't think he does. I just see him as
Or
like
that's actually, you know where that could be different. He could smell it.
yeah. Well,
But that's like close quarters. That's
but
like
that's
you
what
can
I
smell
even
lettuce.
that's what I can even attribute the bullet to.
Like
I think he can smell the bullet. He was able to smell a sandwich that she ate like 6 hours ago from the lawyer at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, for breath.
Yeah, but like 6 hours ago, like it was way early in the morning, and they, like he showed even okay. Regardless of that example, I just got done watching the series. There's many scenes where he proves like how ridiculous his senses are, and by ridiculous I don't mean like overpowered. I mean just ridiculous as in like that's stupid. Like there's no way he got that. But like he's proven that time and time again.
Yeah,
when he reveals everything to Karen, he goes through that whole thing and he shows her how like, yeah, I can tell you what you ate like 6 days ago.
Yeah, I just think him going like he didn't even brush the bottle. He went directly over the bottle, picked up the bullet.
Yeah,
like tweezers.
What if he heard where the sound waves bounced off the bullet from the bottle, and that's where he knew where the bullet was?
That's just doing too much. All I needed was him to pat one time. I didn't even need two.
I just
one
love that
pat.
you're getting so worked up
One
about
pat.
this.
One pat. Felt the bullet, grabbed it.
I just love that you're
I
getting so
know
worked
he
up.
knows the bullet's there. I know he knows it's there, and that's fine. I just needed a pat. Oh, found it. Okay, it's right here. Not. It just pissed me off. It's just annoying. Anyways, we can keep going.
The bullet leads him to a friend of ours, which honestly didn't know that's where that was going. Like,
oh, really?
I don't know why. I don't know what I thought about like him going down into a room. I thought he was investigating. So like I thought he was gonna maybe run into like an assailant there, like maybe a cop,
Okay.
like a Punisher cop. I didn't think we were literally just getting Frank. I saw him in the Disney Plus has the whole
I know they should
poster.
have done
that they shouldn't have done that because they would have hit even more.
Yeah.
But we finally get Frank. Frank is here. And boy, it works still really well.
That chemistry is unmatched.
I'm not gonna lie.
John Berthal is fantastic.
You had a crazy heat check about Conquest when we talked to Invincible last. I am more than happy to go out on a limb and say like I put this conversation they had right up next to their rooftop conversation. It was that good. It was that good to me.
I don't think you're being crazy.
It was that
No,
good.
it was really good.
It was really freaking good.
It was good in a different way.
Yeah, it was completely different
Completely different.
but similar stuff.
Similar stuff.
Similar
I'm gonna get
themes.
into that. But like
Oh yeah.
now so much history that they have, the way they understand each other, the way they know each other, how intimately they know each other.
Yeah.
Like they just know who the other person is at a level that not many other
It's
people
crazy
know.
how like deep you can get into someone's psyche and like understand them so much when you've had just a super deep philosophical conversation with
You've had
somebody.
philosophical conversations, you beat the brakes off each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
You've gone through so much, like they know.
Which I'm not gonna lie, like we didn't watch Punisher. So I don't really know where Frank's left off. From like where we see him now. He looks in rough shape. He looks like I don't know what happened to Punisher. I don't know. I know Karen's in that show. I think I tried to watch it. I never like really got through any of it.
Yeah.
So I might go back and kind of gloss through that a little bit to see where Frank, because I was just a little confused. Frank looked like a broken man
Yeah.
from where we saw him, which I didn't feel like. I just watched season 2. That's not really where we leave him off on, and I know season 2 kind of launches him into the Punisher show.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what happens in that show because I don't know where we're getting Frank in his story right now, but he looks broken. But man, like there was just not a single beat missed in this conversation. Like from the moment like he shows up and he's just like, it's Matthew, Frank. It's like, hi, Frank, how you doing? And it's like instantly going into like kind of a casual conversation. And then we get just that John Bernthal version of this character where he's just doing the glossy stare.
The conversation was cooking.
Yeah.
And then when Frank said, he's like, say his name.
Oh, dude.
Well, from that point to the end, we just were just, I mean.
It was so good,
We
bro.
were dumping oil into
Yeah,
the fire.
it was so good.
It was so
And everything
sick.
before that was so good, too.
Oh, for sure, yeah, they were cooking.
It was just like, it was awesome how they're still having this debate about like
It reared its head again.
it did. They know that that's each other's standpoints. They're not gonna like budge on that stance.
He's
but
like, I live in it. I see it on you. I smell it on you.
Oh, dude, it's so good. That
It's
was so
drenched
good,
all
bro.
over you. I was talk that talk.
Yeah, get into the I love the fact that they're not forgetting Foggy. Because shows can tend to get into this, like when they've decided to nix a character, take him a different direction, get them out of the show, tend to like never mention him again.
Yeah.
Which I hate when shows do that. It's one of my pet peeves. Because canon-wise, it just never makes sense canonically. This, though, like, they are really beating the point home that this is the crux as to why Matt is battling these demons this season.
Yeah.
Like, this is
For
it.
sure. This showed you that, like, the reason he's not already Daredevil again is because
he's really trying to hold on to it.
Yeah, he's holding on to
trying
Foggy.
to honor Foggy as best as he knows how.
Yeah.
And, but even like Punisher is like, you're trying to convince yourself that that's the right way. But I can see it on you, bro.
The Church of Punish.
I can see it on you.
Matt, join us.
I can
we
see
we
you
eat
wanna
really
join
good
it.
food and we kill a lot of people.
But it's something that threw me for a loop though in that conversation, which I wanted to ask you about. We talked a lot on the phone after episode 3 about how we like, man, when he finds out about these cops, it's over for them, bro. He is not approving of whatever the fuck they're doing
Punisher
on the streets. He didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like at all.
Nope.
He was just like, oh, those cops, yeah. They're just a bunch of wannabes.
Yeah. I think I think there's from where we last saw Frank to where he is now, whatever happened here
Yes.
was what changed. Season 2
no,
Frank?
I agree. Oh,
All dead.
taking them out.
All dead.
They're already gone.
The police station is gone. The good ones too.
Yeah, the good ones.
So,
Women,
but whatever
children.
happened, it's you can tell his purpose, his mission, his intention,
motivation.
It's not here anymore. It's
Yeah.
not big picture. It's here.
Yeah.
He has tunnel vision on someone.
Yeah.
Whoever those that red string, all those pictures, he's got somebody on his list.
Yeah.
We don't know who yet.
Well, he said too, like, look how it turned out.
What
for
if it's
me.
Muse?
So I don't know what happened in the Punisher series. We're gonna keep coming back to this. I don't
What
know.
if it's Muse?
I don't think so. I have a theory on Muse though.
Anyway,
Well, actually, no. That theory went out theory went out the door by the end of the episode.
gotcha.
But yeah, dude, that scene was just on its shit.
Yeah, no,
it was so good.
When
When he starts breaking down, bro.
when he said, "I know you hear Foggy, I hear my son," and every time he says, "Go get him,
Go
Daddy.
get him, daddy.
Go get every single one of them." It's like,
gosh, I want to go back and watch it because it's so
it
good.
hits, bro. Because it's like, but it's also John Berthal's like delivery.
Yes.
Is so good. It's
Yeah.
always so good, and that is so important for this. Like, yes, what they're writing in the dialogue, fire. Whoever wrote those words on that script, fire.
That was going crazy.
But it can fall on deaf ears if the delivery is not what it needs to be, and John Berthal will always deliver.
I agree. Which he's the perfect.
He's a method act. He's
He's
like a
the
method
perfect tertiary character for this show. I hope he's in it more. I don't know if
we might get him a little bit more. I don't think
feel
we'll
like
get him much.
I feel like we will. I feel like I've seen some behind the scenes photos.
Unless who he's hunting, it correlates or intersects with what Matt's doing.
I think he's going to be a part of the show. I'm calling it. Like I think their chemistry is too good just to leave to the wayside for one episode.
I will not be mad. That's my goat.
But yeah, dude, that was awesome. Another fantastic scene. Just again, we're gonna keep hitting this point home on the dialogue and writing. When when Fisk zeroes in on, gets everybody in his office, and
Okay.
he's just giving it to him,
Yeah.
and his boy steps up.
Yep.
It's like,
It was me.
sorry, Dad, I did it.
Me.
And boy, this boy, A level, A tier, maybe S tier, in terms of just like talking his shit to get out of a situation.
So
bro.
I put up my notes. My notes literally say Daniel talked himself into death, and then he proceeded to talk himself out of death.
Quite literally,
He
that boy,
talked his way out of dying.
that boy could have convinced the jury that he murdered someone and should get off scot-free
Yeah, he was definitely
in one conversation.
And it just was a perfect storm in the sense of like exactly what Fisk said
Yeah.
after is why he's still alive and why he's still
Yep.
breathing.
Yep.
Is that he understands the value of loyalty
Yeah.
and he sees that and he does not think that's bull.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he believes that this guy will die for him.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay,
And you could
there's
see
value
him slowly
in that.
working himself down
Yeah.
as he keeps on talking,
'Cause,
which
like-
went on forever.
Yeah.
No,
he
like, not in a
kept-
bad way, but like
He did
because it
care.
really was smooth. Like it didn't feel like he was rambling.
Yeah.
But
No,
you
the
could
actor
see
did a great
Fisk.
job.
You could see Fisk like
Come down.
slowly come down more and more and more.
And so obviously seeing the value of loyalty spares him. That being said though, very much drew the line, said if you do that again, I
Dude.
definitely will kill you.
that I wrote down in my notes. That like one thing was just where he just like
Put his hand on his shoulder. Yeah.
I was like
I imagine
was worried, bro.
imagine if Fist like talked to him, like made him think like
Yeah.
loyalty is valuable.
Yeah.
That's fine. If you do this again, I'm gonna kill you, and then just kills him.
I thought he was gonna like squeeze him, like start to give him like a this is where we're at. Don't make the mistake again. But no, I had one way this plays out in my mind. I was like, is he just gonna
Snap his neck.
snap his neck just like right in front of this woman?
Yeah.
Because that was gonna happen.
Might.
That was tense, bro. I
It was.
felt every tense point of that from the moment he was just like. I was like,
Yeah.
let's get out of this scene quick.
For sure.
So good. So yeah, those were all like great. I did want to point out Matt is basically Batman. His detective skills came in crazy this episode.
Yep.
And then yeah, they're just like I just love the idea that we built all this up for them to slowly slip into what they're trying to slip
Yeah,
into by the end of
that's
the
cool.
episode.
I think the parallel was cool. The ending, the parallel was cool. I think it was. We obviously get revealed that Adam, the guy that Vanessa slept with, Fist has him locked up. And I'm not gonna lie.
Shocker.
Yeah, not a shocker. I actually is a shocker because I thought he'd be dead, but he's just
He's changing his ways. He's trying.
yeah, but he's just beating him up daily. Just
Torturing
going
him,
and
bro.
eating his pasta
He's
and then
eating his
going in the cell with him and just beating him to a pulp and walking out. Yeah, he's changed his ways.
Oh man.
Um,
Can I throw you my wild theory though before we get into the scene that
Well-
that I came up with?
the only thing I'm gonna say would piss me off
Oh, okay.
was that when he was eating, and listen, I know you're a snob with pasta. I don't know what noodles he had.
I know what you're about to mention.
But I'm not gonna lie, it really did piss me off that he was like cutting his noodles in
cutting the
half.
penne in half.
Bro, I'll tell you what, that grinding. Bro, you think you're better than me? What? Just grab, stab like 2 or 3,
yeah,
4 if you're really hungry,
yeah.
and then I don't know what I hit. Yeah, fish or chicken with it or
Yeah.
something like that. Cut you a little piece of that.
Yeah.
Boom, stab that. Take a bite. Why are we cutting it in half? That you're doing too much. I don't care how rich I ever become. You can't even put a number that I could have in my bank account that would make me feel like I needed to cut my noodles in half. There's no amount of money.
No, there's
There's
not.
no amount of
There's
money
not.
that you would make me think I had to do that.
I wonder who came up with the idea of like Fisk is gonna daintily eat his food all the time. I don't know. I wonder if that's like a Vincent D'Onofrio thing. Like it's just something he came up with for his character, or if they're intentionally doing it to mean something. I don't know.
I get it. Like, I get it though. Like
He's
I wouldn't
always
want,
done it,
but I
Even
wouldn't
with-
want to see
even with
him.
his eggs. He like
I know, but I wouldn't want to see him.
it's like an
Chow.
OCD thing with him.
Yeah, I feel like it plays to like I don't want to call him gentle, but like he is very like
Yeah.
gentle until he's not.
Yeah.
But
It's
you
the
know, he's
only
very,
thing in his life he does that way.
very he has a lot of like very etiquette.
Yeah.
Very proper, and he's very respectful. I don't know. I feel like he's respecting his food. I guess, but.
He's showing his food the respect he shows nobody else.
Yeah, nobody else. So it fits him as like because Fisk, he is weird.
Yeah.
Mentally, he's a psychopath, but it just fits.
Yeah.
But it pisses me off. It pissed me off. Anyways, what's your theory?
No, so I had this thought in the therapy scene. It first struck me, and it was brief. So we see Muse in the beginning of the episode.
Yep.
Very briefly. We see a painting of his up on the wall at one point during the episode. And then when they're talking the therapy, she just like made they were starting to talk about Adam. And they made a comment. She made a comment about like how artsy he was and how he sketched with these awesome hands.
You
he
thought
had.
Muse was Adam.
And a small part of me was like, are they trying to like kind of link that a little bit?
Then
And then when he got to I literally wrote it down too. I was like, Muse equals Adam? Question mark? And then we got to the end of the episode, and Adam just locked up, bro.
Yeah, Adam's going through it.
That theory debunked very quick.
I mean, he had a long beard, long hair. He's had to have had him for
wonder
a
how
while.
long he looks like he's been in there for a while. He looks
He's
pretty
had to
rough.
have had him for a long time. It looked like Daniel of the Iron Fist.
Oh, yeah.
It looked like him, like when he was a hobo,
Yeah.
like before he became the
Yeah.
Iron Fist. I saw it and I was like, oh, is that the Iron Fist? And then it said Adam. I was like, oh
Yeah.
wait, yeah, that actually makes way more sense.
Yeah. So
So that was cool.
yeah,
So episode was good.
yeah, I really liked it. It's slower, but I really liked it.
Now I want to get into my concerns.
Sure. Yeah, because I feel like you were definitely.
I didn't hate the episode.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the episode.
I just felt like you had a tenseness to you while
The-
watching it that I could feel.
I am getting a little concerned at like, and I'm not saying I'm not trying to put my expectations on the show, but like now that we've gone through episode 4, it's like, we have done a lot to set up, and maybe this back half is going to be wild, but I think we're taking a little too long to get to the meat and potatoes.
Sure.
Like the appetizer has been out for a little bit now. It's getting a little cold. I'm ready.
See, I don't see these episodes as appetizers.
I mean, they're setting up what ultimately.
Sure.
You know
Sure.
what I mean? So I mean that is what appetizer. But I understand for you these are full meals. Like you're really enjoying it.
Yeah,
You're-
I'm
which is
enjoying
fine.
I'm enjoying the story that they're giving us right now. I will say it reminds me a lot of like how drawn out season
the old
1
ones
was.
exactly. But the
Um,
problem is that these aren't going to be 13 episodes.
Yeah,
This
we
is
got
this is
8.
going to be 8.
But let me ask you this though, but like if the next like 2-3 episodes are just kick-ass action,
Yeah.
like are you even going to care about that statement?
No, because all in all, if this show was already out the
Yeah.
full season, I would be fine.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that I gotta wait a week
Sure.
is what's like
That's why I'm not worried though, because I am
know.
fully expecting they're going to get to that
for
stuff.
sure.
Like there's no way they just don't give us any of that in this season. So I'm okay with like waiting for it as long as it is good like this.
It has to be good.
Now, if these episodes weren't good, I would agree. Like this is really slow
But
and we're taking a while.
We're halfway through the show.
Yeah.
We have complete over 50%.
Mm.
We have only seen Muse, and he's the big bad.
Yeah, that was interesting. I don't know why they branded him as the big. Maybe it's just a herring.
I mean, I don't want to say I say big bad. I'll say big bad because he's supposed to be like the villain.
He was kind of branded as like the villain of the season.
Yeah, it's like he's supposed to be the big problem, and of course Fisk is always around and part of it. But like, I don't know. It's just like we just need to make sure the back half we got to be good because it's on brand with the show.
Yeah.
That it's such a slow start, so I'm not like super concerned. But I'm not gonna lie. I watched the episode. I was like, it was kind of annoying. Like I was a little annoyed because I wanted to see something.
I just like it because I think they're very naturally getting to it.
Yeah.
Which
yeah, for sure.
I feel like
can see it.
feel like some of the problems we've seen with other shows, mainly Star Wars more than Marvel, but it's just like it's just such a bumpy plot. Like it's just all over the place. I don't feel that way with this. I feel like it's very cohesive.
Yeah.
And it very like runs into
if
one
we
another
don't
very well.
get if we don't get him in the suit next episode, it's gonna be a problem.
Sure,
I think because like I understand you even ended this episode him getting to his armory. He's got
they're building it. Yeah, he's got his.
They're building
they
it.
showed,
Yeah,
they showed you the helmets.
He's showed the helmets. He's like practicing.
Yeah.
Maybe getting some rust, some
Mhm.
dust off his shoulders. But if next episode is just like all dialogue,
Yeah.
it's like, I'm not gonna say it's a problem, but it's gonna be a little disappointing. So
Yeah.
all in all, good episode. Dialogue, everything about it was great for what it was.
Yeah.
I didn't really have any issues. Do you have anything else? Because I have a question. I want
No,
to close on.
please present it.
I meant to say this, and we just filmed our Invincible season finale. episode. I meant to bring it up in that one, but we can talk about it here. Through 3 seasons, and so take this season out. The first 3 seasons of Daredevil, first 3 seasons of Invincible. What's a better product?
They're just 2 completely different things. That's really hard to like put them in the same boat and say what's
Writing,
a better product.
Storytelling,
They're like-
character development.
But like they're 2 things I would just never compare. They're just completely different products in every sense.
They're
of the
both
word.
superhero shows.
Because like that question, I feel like really because they're not similar, boils down to one thing, which is just like my subjective opinion of which one I prefer.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
I would say Invincible, just because that scratches more of the hero
I
itch.
feel like that hurts you a little bit to say that.
It doesn't, because like even when Daredevil first came out, I wasn't like excited about.
I know, but
Daredevil.
you were a massive advocate.
Yeah, because
of the show.
I watched it and realized how friggin' good it was. And
Yeah.
so
I mean, I don't care when you watch the show. You've watched the first 3 seasons of Daredevil. You've watched the first 3 seasons of Invincible.
yeah,
Say Invincible.
yeah, because I think it just scratches a little bit more of like an itch for me. But this scratches an itch in a different way. Like this is like when it comes to my, consuming of different shows, like this scratches a darker tone, more serious drama itch versus Invincible just scratches my superhero itch like really well. Because it's just there's all these different plots and there's all this different lore to Invincible versus like Daredevil. It's not really that. It's just kind of like the procedural nature of the show is what gets me, and the plot that they've laid out in each season is what gets me. The Wilson and Matt dynamic is what gets me. But like Invincible scratches the, this is just a superhero world building with really cool characters and also good plot, but also like just like the lore of it, So I don't feel like I can say like I like Invincible more, but like I don't know if I like it more than like they're right now. Like those are if I were like creating my list of favorite TV shows, I think both of them would be on it, and I don't really know which one I'd rank above the other as of this moment. Why is that so wild?
I mean, I guess it's not wild, but I wanted to ask you.
It's wild because they're both on my list.
No, I wanted to ask you this question because of how just like passionate you are about the Daredevil show.
Yeah.
Which I liked it. Then it was good. I'm not saying it's bad. So I knew it'd be more difficult for you to answer than me, because me, I would just say.
Oh yeah, no,
Invincible.
that's a difficult question for me.
For you, yes.
Yeah, it's a
that's
very
why I
difficult
wanted to
question.
ask you.
Yeah.
For me, it's Invincible, but that's just
Yeah.
what it is. I'm curious. What you guys think?
Yeah, put it in the comments.
First 3 seasons of Daredevil, which I guess would be just the Netflix show Daredevil, or what we've gotten in Invincible.
It's like comparing baseball and hockey.
To you,
Just nothing alike.
to me, it's not.
They're not similar series. The only overlap is superhero.
But
That's the only overlap.
But when I'm looking at a show, I'm not looking at. That's what I'm saying. You're looking at it differently, and that's not how I'm comparing storytelling, writing, character development, action. Like those are the things I'm looking at, and that they are comparable.
If you're going off super critical aspects of like show, stuff, cinema stuff, I would probably say Daredevil. Daredevil is more of a technically sound, great show than Invincible is. Like writing wise, plot wise, dialogue wise.
I disagree.
That's okay.
That is fine.
That's
That's
okay.
100% okay. I would disagree. I think the writing in both shows is great. I think it's better in Invincible.
Yeah.
I think the character development is good in both shows. I just give the edge to Invincible. Action, good in both shows. More and better in Invincible. While their action is different.
like that's my point. Like action wise, like that's 2 different types of action.
Yeah, but action's action.
But like
Hand in hand.
live action is different from animation.
That's
action.
fair.
That's what I mean. It's just like 2 different boats. I don't really know how to compare them.
That's the only one that's like, I'd give you the nod where it's like, sure, it's different, but I can appreciate like I can still look at live action.
Yeah.
Action. And
You appreciate them for different reasons, though, is my point.
Yeah, but I can objectively look at both of them
Mhm.
and still pick one to be better, even though they're different. But the reason I like them,
Yeah.
each of them,
Just in my mind, when I'm trying to pick something that's better than the other, I have to compare it. Like I have to go more like to like than anything else. I think the only thing I really don't do that with is Game of Thrones, but like for me, I have to find something in a similar category and compare those two things rather than like cross category comparison. That's just difficult for my mind to like really put one over the other.
But
Like, I
every
just
show
separate
has
them out.
writing. Every show has character.
Yeah, I know.
development,
So that's
every
what I'm
show-
saying. Like technical standpoints, I'd give it to Daredevil.
Interesting.
So, but yeah, no, I mean, this series is really good. I'm excited for it to continue. I was trying to figure out like what the pulse is on the streets about this show. When it first came out, it sounded like it wasn't as great.
When it first came out, people were vibing.
Yeah, but it's gotten better.
That's good.
At least like audience and critical scores that I've seen on a couple different sites, they've all gone up.
That's good.
So that's a good sign, and hopefully it continues because I'm really enjoying the show. And we're gonna get Daredevil. I've also seen some behind the scenes photos of like on set stuff that I don't think you have, which is giving me a little context into some things.
I mean, yeah, I hope we get him in a suit.
Um,
I'm very much expecting him to be in a suit at some point.
I think you're gonna like the suit that he's in, though.
Cool.
I think you are. But yeah, that's
Is it
gonna.
the yellow one?
No,
Don't like that.
you don't like the yellow one? I like the yellow
No,
one.
he looks like a bottle of mustard running around.
He does kind of look
I
like a
prefer bottle of ketchup running around.
Oh man, I just hope we don't get more of that CGI crap. If it does that, we're gonna be in serious trouble
we're
with
in
this show.
serious trouble. We're in some serious trouble.
All right.
If that's it, don't give it to me.
Well, here's to hopefully not seeing any CGI next episode. That's gonna do it for us here at the house tonight. We will be back next week, most likely dropping the episode on Thursday, I would say. For both. No, Invincible's done. We're done with Invincible.
Yeah.
Just Daredevil next week. We'll see you next week for that, guys. Very excited. Go subscribe on YouTube. Go follow on Instagram. Go drop comments. Go likes. Go tell your friends because we want more people to join in on the conversation.
Yeah.
Always want more people to join in the conversation. So, all right, we're gonna do it there. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.